Go.
Well, I'm here with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. The date is November 6, 2024, and we're reading from Studio 6D today. It's pretty much open mic today. On the way here today, I didn't prepare for many segments, so we'll just take it as we go. Mr. Jeckovich was a World War II veteran, and he was in Company H, 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Mr. Jeckovich, what's your dog tag number?
420965.
Okay, that'll have me access to open up the computer. Do you want to start the reading, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Do you want to read?
No, I don't want to read now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, reading Mr. Jeckovich's book, titled Their Mother's Sons, and that's approximately 900 pages, and it begins when Mr. Jeckovich is approximately 11 years old, and it goes to his mother's death when she was approximately 89. It includes such things as his first car, his in high school, Mr. Jeckovich not enlisting in World War II. He waited to the last minute to be drafted so he could spend more time caring for his mother. And the reason why he had to care for his mother was her husband, Mr. Jeckovich's father, died at a very early age. How old was your father?
43.
43? He was a hard-working man.
Yeah.
He came over as an immigrant from the old country, and it's not like the situation we have today. They were handed nothing, nor would they accept anything for free. They would not accept anything for free. If they didn't earn it, they didn't accept it. So Mr. Jeckovich's father came in the legal way. Took a long time to figure out how to become a citizen, but he worked his ass off pretty much 18, 19 hours a day. What type of work did your father do, Mr. Jeckovich?
He was a mason, he was a millwright, and he was a pipe fitter too.
I see. And did your father, what was the motto that your father had when you're speaking inside your house?
Speak American. You're American, you talk American. You don't talk Russian.
So that situation was well taken. As you can hear Mr. Jeckovich speaking, he does not have an accent at all, yet many of the neighbors on the street of 3063 Orleans Avenue have a strong accent.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of your neighbors?
Belinsky.
Did Belinsky have a strong
Oh, yeah, he talked like a Chinese Polak.
How the hell do you have a Chinese Polak?
Yeah.
That's like
jibber jabber.
What's a Chinese Polak sound like?
Huh?
What's a Chinese Polak sound like?
Well, they got a bad accent.
Oh, yeah. And because they spoke Polish at the
They
house.
spoke at home.
Who else had a bad accent there?
Lapine.
Lapine. Where was she from?
She was from France.
See, we have like a whole country of immigrants back 70 years ago, but they worked very hard. There was no free medical, there was no welfare, there was no free sex change operations like you would have today. These were hard-working people, and if you'd say, here's $100, they would not take it unless they earned it. Would not take it unless they earned it. Was your mother a hard-working person?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of work did your mother do, Mr. Jeckovich?
Well, she started as a babysitter with Dr. Wright and his wife when they were out dancing and that, babysitting. And then she got a job at the Kresge's as a cook. Then she got a job at the carburetor as a small wheel inspector.
That small wheel inspector job must have been very hard on her eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Did your mother wear glasses?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it was because of the job?
I think she wore glasses before that, but she's aggravated it, yeah.
Did your father work at Carbrundum also?
Yes.
And did your mother get along and talk to everyone, or was that your father's position? Your father talked to everybody.
No, my mother was good girl. She talked to
How
everybody.
about your father, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a gabber. Yeah, he was a gabber. Yeah.
He was a big gabber.
Yeah, he go across the alley, talk to what's his name.
Did your mother and father ever get a driver's license?
No,
Did your father have a car?
had a Packard in the garage, never used it until Stevie got a hold of it.
Isn't that beautiful? But Stevie would drive him around in the Packard, right?
Well, when he's old enough, yeah. He took it to school every day.
Uh-huh. Didn't your father put his tools in the back of the Packard when he'd go to work?
No, that was Uncle Andy.
Uncle Andy.
In his Plymouth, green Plymouth, yeah.
Uncle Andy is your mother's brother.
Yeah,
And there was Uncle Johnny that was your mother's brother.
yeah.
Did they all come to America at the same time?
No, they didn't have enough money to pay it everywhere. They tempered it in there.
But it was very nice. They all had nice houses.
Yeah,
They came to Niagara Falls, New York with absolutely nothing. They all had nice houses. They worked extremely hard. And they never took a handout. Did your Uncle Johnny have an accent?
no,
Did your Uncle Andy have an accent?
yeah.
He had a strong accent?
Well, no, they didn't have a strong accent, no.
Okay. How about your aunts?
Aunt Sophie and Aunt Bernice, they had a mild accent, yeah, not that bad, but they could talk Russian fluently, yeah.
I see. So that was very good. That was a good message that your father said. If we're living in the United States, the only thing we speak is English. Everything else is not going to be in here. So that was a very good thing. What kind of weather was it like in Niagara Falls, New York?
Weather?
Yeah, how was the seasons?
The seasons were regular seasons in western New York. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
Didn't you have very severe winters?
Well, we had a severe winter last year. We're at 10, 20 years, we had that big snowfall, 77.
Right, 77. Wow, and didn't you help out at Kimberly-Clark with your four-wheel drive international trying to help workers get to their job?
Well, I had a four-wheel drive, then I had an international four-wheel, and I would take the shift workers back and forth.
Wow, that was amazing. Were they all pretty nice workers?
Pardon?
Were they all pretty nice guys?
At work?
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of sour apples.
And what did the workers, and you didn't participate in this, but what did the workers generally do after their shift?
They went to the red spot across the street.
What was the red spot?
Bar.
They invited you over several times, but you wouldn't go.
No, I gave them a wave and took off.
You gave them the big wave, yeah. That's amazing. Well, you're looking very chipper today. Brand new clothes, socks.
And brand new clothes.
He's the only guy I know who gets a different set of clothes every day. And, I see you had a little bit of injury on your ear.
Yeah, they changed the bandages on the ear today.
Or is that like a Trump symbol you got on your ear?
No, there's a hole in that ear now.
There's a hole?
There's a hole. The top of the ear was cancerous right there.
Well, I thought that might have been a symbol you're putting on like for Trump. And
What?
I thought Trump was wearing a Band-Aid on his ear. I thought that was your Trump decoration.
No.
So you have brand new clothes every day. You have a staff of 6 that caters to you really nice. We finally, over the last month and a half, found some decent people, nice cooks, staff. Everything we need is we're running on all 12 cylinders right now. This is the happiest Mr. Jeckovich has been in 2 years. That's really wonderful. And did you spend some time with Amber today?
With Amber all day, yeah, she's a sweetheart, yeah.
Doesn't that keep you nice company?
Yeah. Well, she had to go home early, yeah.
But it's almost 7. But didn't she?
Well, don't forget we're at standard time now.
Yeah, doesn't she take care of you nice?
Pardon?
Doesn't she take care of you nice?
Oh, yeah.
She's a good girl. She's a kind girl. Full-time missionary.
That's got a bad cough with that plate. That roommate didn't clean that room out yet.
Yeah, a little bit from the storm. Travels the world as a full-time missionary. One of the kindest girls you'll find.
Yeah.
One of the kindest girls you'll find. So she takes care of her great-grandfather from time to time. So, I didn't make a list of anything to read. You had a couple text messages, and one was about how do you get started jogging?
How did I start jogging?
No, they want to know, he's a young fella from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He texts, and could he get started jogging? Because you were a successful jogger for over 80 years.
Yeah.
What advice would you give this young college student?
I say that when you run a set goal. Don't run and stop, run and stop, run a set goal. At a steady pace, yeah.
How far at first?
Well, I started on a new road. No, I started on hand ramp from Flemish to Nova. That's about 3 miles.
And what got you started jogging?
I read a book on it.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that was the best book you probably ever read.
Yeah.
It lasted you almost 70 or 80 years. It was funny when Mr. Jeckovich started jogging, it wasn't fashionable or acceptable. Today, you turn every corner and there's someone jogging. But when Mr. Jeckovich got started, people would throw stuff at you. What would they throw at you?
They throw apples at me. They throw cans of beer, full of cans of beer.
They'd throw anything at a jogger 70 years ago, like a can of Genesee beer or a can of Campbell's soup. And what would they yell out?
Hey, buddy, what's the case? You get a car, in case you walk, you suck, get off the road. You're a pain in the ass on the road.
See, yeah, well, it was a battle. Mr. Jeckovich had one derogatory comment after another because people weren't sophisticated or educated 70 years ago. They thought he was just a bum because he couldn't afford a car, but it wasn't about a transportation. It was about running for health. And I assure you this, all those people that threw things at Mr. Jeckovich and called him all types of derogatory names, I'll guarantee you they're pushing up daisies today.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich is in fine health. He could read the newspaper without any glasses. You could squeeze your hand and...
No, that brings that up. The VA's going to come over and ask me what I've got and everything. What should I tell them?
When we're off of that.
Huh?
When we're off of this recording. When we're off of this recording, we'll talk. We're recording right now. I don't want to talk when we're recording. We'll talk after this segment, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And so Mr. Jeckovich jogged for many, many years. He's in perfect health. He reads the newspapers with no glasses, and he'll squeeze your arm and knock you to the floor. It's just Mr. Jeckovich never had a prescription, or Mr. Jeckovich never took even a baby aspirin. Did you take vitamins?
No.
No. Never took vitamins. Never even took a vitamin. And how about cigarettes or
No, never smoked, never drank.
I see. And Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100 years old. Knocking on the door of 100 years old. And about the only minor problem he has is that his knees gave out for 8 decades of jogging, and so you're restricted to a wheelchair.
And some other injuries from the war.
And from frostbite from World War II.
Frostbite, yeah. Still got it.
Trench foot. And Mr. Jeckovich, yeah, these are probably injuries from the war also. And also, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper, and then a bomb went overhead.
Yeah.
And he still has shrapnel in his leg.
I've got loss of hearing on my right ear because my rifle was on the right hand.
Machine gun, right?
No, a rifle too. When you shot it, it comes right out of your ear.
So that's where you have loss.
And when I want to talk to the phone, I go to this ear, and I got to particular route to get the right space.
And now you have a problem with that ear.
Yeah.
So, but what type of, I thought you used heavy machine guns.
Well, I had a rifle too.
What kind of
A
rifle?
carbine, I had a carbine.
M1 carbine?
No, an M1 carbine. Yeah. Carbine, M1 was a big rifle. I had a carbine because I was carrying half the gun.
And what size shell is that?
30.
30. But tell us about your heavy weapon machine gun. How did that work?
There was a tripod, there was a 2-3 man crew. A squad would take that machine gun. There's a tripod and a receiver. The tripod weighed about 130 pounds. You put it over your shoulders, and you go like this with it. And that's part of the. And then the receiver you carry over your shoulder. But you had to be careful when you took that receiver off. It wasn't hot
Okay.
because
It
you
wasn't
burn your
hot.
hand. Yeah.
And then what about how many ammo bearers did you have?
We had a squad. You had ammo bearers going back and forth for ammo.
I see. Now let's getting back to getting hot. Wasn't that weapon, that heavy machine gun, water cooled?
It was water cooled, yeah. There was an air cooled one too.
But that particular one was considered a heavy machine gun, and it was water cooled because if you didn't use a water cooling system, it would be red hot.
And I had put antifreeze in it.
Oh, okay. So tell me what that, because you're in the coldest winter in 30 years at the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, put the antifreeze to keep the tank from not freezing.
So if you didn't put antifreeze in it, you would not have
No,
the water.
it was solid up or you wouldn't cooling.
What happened when one of the great young men?
And clothes, what kind of clothes was he wearing? What kind of clothes? 13 minutes.
What happened when one of the great young teenage World War II soldiers grabbed the machine gun the wrong way? What happened to him?
He burned his hand right down to the bone.
And so what? He was finally out of commission.
Oh, yeah.
But Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper and still has shrapnel in his leg from a bomb went overhead. See, when they put a bomb overhead, what kind of things do they stick in the bomb?
Everything, rifles, razor blades, everything.
Tools.
No, something would be, when they dropped it, it would float right down.
So didn't your buddy Donald Lape get hit by it?
Well, Lape wasn't street smart. I told him when they started dropping shells over here, duck over a tree or a rock or something and put your hands over your head. Well, he didn't do that. The second round he cut his neck right off.
And didn't you say that his glasses were just hanging on one ear?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a sad sight. And how old was Donald Lape?
19.
19. Wasn't street smart.
No, his both fathers were lawyers.
Yeah, book smart. And an interesting fact, if you fast forward many years, Donald Lape's brother, we just found this out after the death of Donald Lape's brother, only lived 2 blocks away from Mr. Jeckovich in Florida for 25 years. That would have been nice if we had that information then, because it would have been a great conversation speaking in honor about Donald Lape, and that was a great soldier that didn't last long. Many people in the Battle of the Bulge that weren't street smart did not last long. They did not last long. Right now, there was 15,400,000 young men and women that would go into World War II. We lost 14,500,000. We lost 14 million. And as time went on, because most of them are in their late 90s and early hundreds, or they died from some type of disease, many of them died from lung cancer because the Red Cross would pass out non-filtered cigarettes to all the young men like it was candy, right?
Yeah.
What kind of cigarettes would they pass?
Pall Mall, Walker Strike, Chesterfield. Now there's a big suicide rate for veterans too.
Yeah.
Veterans are committing suicide now.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Big factor, yeah.
Yeah, so suicide, lung cancer, loneliness, you name it. They got hit with everything. But there's a little bit less than 100,000 World War II vets, but the majority of those are rear echelon. And what was a rear echelon?
Well, he does the supply, he does the work, he does the stuff. They're needed. Yeah. So, if you didn't have them, you couldn't feed the folks.
Yeah. So even though the rear echelon was not on the front line, they were very honorable people. They did all the things behind the scenes, while Mr. Jeckovich was an elite group of fighters on the front line, and there's less than 7,000. There's less than 7,000 of these infantrymen left, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 soldiers a day.
Huh.
So do the math, do the math. And if you have to have any questions you would like to ask this World War II vet, text Mr. Jeckovich at area code 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Or, as we say, in the beautiful island of Defusky Island, Hague Point, South Carolina, we're a little bit different here. Here's how we'd say. Text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. So this is going to be a beautiful day. Mr. Jeckovich has got a new staff, 6 beautiful people, new clothes, lots of money, lots of time. He's doing really great. He has not a problem in the world. And he's knocking on the door of 100 years old. Interesting enough, if you're 40 years old right now and listening, you have a 10% chance to make it to 100. A 10% chance to make it to 100. It's not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat. And getting old, let me tell you, while you're watching all this, is not for wimps, right?
No.
It's hard.
As you get older, it's tougher.
It gets hard.
Tougher. Your body gets all tougher.
Every day is tougher. But if you're like Mr. Jeckovich, you're lucky. They have a great support staff, lots of people, lots of new stuff coming in every day, lots of things to do every day.
And what?
But generally speaking, it's tough. It is tough. And then the worst thing about it is, when you get this old, many times you could actually run out of money. You can outlive your money.
Yeah.
And many people that say, oh great, I'm going to retire at 64 or 65, and they'll say, oh, I'm on top of the world, man. I got my house paid for, and I have $1 million in the bank. And I say, I wouldn't want to be you. I wouldn't want to be you. For the simple fact is, minutes?
7.
And the simple fact is you'll probably outlive your money. It's tough. It gets very expensive getting older. So let me give you an example. You think, for example, you're on top of the world, you're in decent health at 64 or 65, your house is paid for, and after you cashed everything in, and you have $1 million liquid in the bank. I'll say it again. I wouldn't want to be you. I would not want to be you. You will definitely outlive your money. Let me give you a quick example. Perfect health, fine. It's a gravy train. You could pretend you're in the land of Oz. Everything's cool. But if you have one major sickness, or if your knees blow out and you want to still live at home, the minimum it would be to have 2 or 3 caretakers around the clock is $40,000 each and every month.
Yeah.
$40,000 each and every month. That works out to be about $500,000 a year. So with all this money you think you saved, if you have a problem, in 2 years you're absolutely bankrupt. You're absolutely bankrupt. So think about it. If you're a younger person listening, to have some type of plan, some type of other plan, so you do not outlive your money. Most people outlive your money. Or you could go maybe, you could find a really nice or decent assisted living, and that's like $10,000 to $14,000 a month. Plus, there's a lot of other expenses. It's hard to understand, but once you get old, you are basically a human cash register.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around, 1,000 here, 10,000 here, 50,000 here. It doesn't end. So if we're as young people, put a lot away. Put a lot away. Because luckily, you might go without a problem. But if you have a problem, you're pretty well screwed. You're pretty well screwed. So, well, what do you want me to start reading your chapter?
Okay.
Because
Go
this is a good chapter, but I want to pick up on some notes that Mr. Jeckovich had in his manuscripts that a lot of people won't know about the Battle of Bulge. And this is covering not just the Battle of Bulge, this covers Japan. Did you ever want to be shipped over to the Pacific?
No.
No. Why not?
Well, the Japanese, they're crazy. They go to those little holes.
And then how do you get them out?
Yeah, you gotta burn them out.
How do you get them out?
Put a blowtorch in there.
Yeah. Well, this is notes I found in Mr. Jeckovich's book. Japan never technically declared war on China during the Sino-Japanese War. If they had, they might have faced more intervention from other countries. Because of this, for decades, it was referred to an incident rather than a war. Another thing Mr. Jeckovich speaks about in the Treaty of Versailles, Versailles, American President Woodrow Wilson captured the terms of the treaty would be accepted in humiliation, under duress, and in an intolerable sacrifice, and would have a sting resentment, a bitter memory upon which terms of peace would rest, and not permanently, but only as upon quicksand, only as upon quicksand. However, even he couldn't have guessed how fast peace would fall apart. Yeah. How fast did peace fall apart when asswipe Hitler invaded Poland?
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Everyone got on it. And then we got in more specifically.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
December 7th, 1941. Do you remember where you were at Pearl Harbor?
I was skating on a creek, Jill Creek.
And then
Sunday
your mother
after.
said,
huh?
When you got home, your mother says, I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Because she knows you're...
Yeah, she was old. My father was dead. Stevie was in school. Looky was wandering around. No, Looky was the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
He enlisted, yeah.
People didn't know about Hitler. Hitler clung on to his dream of professional art long after his political career. In 1939, right before the outbreak of the war, Hitler allegedly told the British ambassador, once the Polish question is settled, I want to end my life as an artist. So Hitler wanted to be an artist.
Yeah,
he
stole all the art all over.
He stole all the art.
Yeah.
Today's value in the billions.
Yeah.
And then, before Hitler committed suicide, he went by the scorched earth theory. He destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Tried to kill every American, destroyed anything of value. Hitler was offered an opportunity to go to architectural school. Instead, he chose art school. And since that was clearly what he was most interested in, drawing, however, this would have required him to return to high school, which he did not want to do. So he turned down the opportunity. How could a man with a third-grade education cause so much hell?
Yeah.
Cause so much hell,
yeah.
Killing millions of people. Even today, there's a lot of hell.
That's the outcome yet.
What?
That's still going on.
Still going on. Hitler, here's the best one that little son of a bitch did. Hitler painted a self-portrait when he was 21, but his portrait didn't have a face. That sounds like him. Some art critics have taken this as a grim foreshadowing of his lack of interest in human life.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Hitler was simply a sociopath with no empathy.
Yeah.
And we know today there's a lot of sociopaths.
Oh, yeah.
No
and they're in government. And they're in government,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, families, too.
Yeah.
1 minute.
How many?
1.
Okay. So that was an interesting fact that I picked up from your book. And this was a great generation.
Yeah.
These guys didn't ask for nothing. They all went to war, and some of the boys went in and lied about their age at 16 and 17 just to fight for the country.
Yeah.
Just devotion to their country.
Right.
They wouldn't do that today.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think there'd be a generation like yours again.
No, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. No.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think we'll find a generation like yours, Mr. Jeckovich. It's a truly outstanding. And especially everything you put in words in your 900-page book, that's a task in itself. That's a lot of discipline to write.
Right.
There's a lot of discipline for you to put all those facts into this book.
Yeah, where is that book? That book doesn't get lost, does it?
Right
yeah.
here, Mr. Jeckovich.
Yeah.
In this green
I had it in the drawer down in the cupboard all the time.
Right here.
Don't lose that. Don't lose that.
It's right here, I have it with me. Minutes?